Alright, so we have a question here: x squared is equal to 5x plus 2, and the instruction that says round off to 2 decimal places, and it's for 4 marks. So what we're going to do first and foremost is we're always going to get the equation first into standard form. So what do? We transpose the 5x to the left hand side, and when we do, 5x becomes negative 5x, and then 2 that's positive becomes negative 2 on the left hand side coming from the right hand side. Remember, this is just a simple application of the additive inverse, because remember, if we want to basically annihilate or remove 5x and 2 from the right hand side, what we would do is we would subtract negative 5x and also subtract negative 2, meaning we would use the additive inverse of 2 and the additive inverse of negative 5x. But what we do on the left with an equation, we do on the right. So the elimination of those using the additive inverse would lead us to a 0, and then obviously we would basically minus 5x on the left, and then obviously the additive inverse of plus 2 would be negative 2 as well on the right. So that's on the left hand side, which is why we get x squared minus 5x minus 2, and on the right we get equal to 0. Okay, then this we cannot factorize, okay, because we don't have factors of 2, which when we multiply give us negative 2, but then when we add we get the coefficient of x, which is negative 5. So therefore what we have to then use is we need to use the magical formula. We call it the magical formula, which is called the quadratic formula. Okay, and simply what we then have to locate is the value of a, the value of b, and the value of c. And remember that the value of a is the coefficient of the x squared term when the quadratic equation is in standard form. So the coefficient of x squared is 1, the number before x squared. The coefficient of the x term is negative 5, and then the constant term c is negative 2. So when we write these down, we write them down considering the sign. The coefficient of x squared is 1, the unseen one. The coefficient of x, the number before x, is negative 5, and then the constant term is negative 2. Then after writing down the quadratic formula, we substitute these values in the place of the letters that you see in the quadratic formula. So b, there's a negative there already, so b, in the place of b we write negative 5 in brackets, plus minus the b squared, negative 5 in brackets, we square it, minus 4. In the place of a we write 1, in the place of c we write negative 2 over 2, in the place of a we write 1. Okay, and there it is. Okay, and remember we have the square root there. Then all we simply do is we grab our calculator and we punch in the values that we are supposed to then have. Okay, I tend to love actually making sure, so 25, okay, and then I get a plus 8. Now 25 plus 8 is 33, so I at least love getting to this stage. All right, which stage I can then go ahead and do what? I can punch it into my calculator, the 5 plus, so we start with the plus first. Okay, and there it is in the calculator, the 5 plus root 33 over 2. Then you press SD, you get 5 comma from remember they said round off our answers to 2 decimal places, so x is equal to 5,37. Remember we cut off after the second number, after the comma, 1 to 2 decimal places. We cut off, we ask from the third number, what does the 2 say to the 7? If this number is 4 and less, 7 stays the same. If this number here, the third number, is 5 and above, 7 goes up by 1. So our answer is 5,37. Oh, let's go and change the plus sign there. Remember that our quadratic formula has plus minus, so we checked with the plus what answer we would get. We delete that, we write the minus, and we check what do we get with the minus sign. We get as negative 0,37. Remember this number, after the 7, this number says what to the 7? We stay the same, so we have negative 0,37. That's the second x value. Guys, that's it. 4 marks. 4 marks. Standard form, substitution into the quadratic formula, our respective answers tends to be the mark allocation, the 4 marks. Okay, all right, and then let's move on right along. Okay, I've spent 4 minutes 48 seconds answering that question. It's because I had explanations that I gave as well simultaneously. But I mean, if you are doing this question in an exam on your own, you should be able to spend less than 4 minutes, so that all that time accumulation can basically all gather up for the end, so that when you are done with the paper, you can have sufficient time to check the paper from beginning to the end and see if there's any silly mistakes you may have made, and make sure you've doubled up on the marks.